done. Intro. It's intro time. Shush. Everyone shut up. What's going on, main characters? Welcome back to Third Party Studios. It's your boy Talks Too Much, and we got Cody in the studio. What's going on, buddy?
What up?
It's gonna be another fun day. We're coming back from a week. I've been on vacation. I've been in Mexico. You boys like Mexico?
You like Mexico?
Can I get a like for a Mexico? Anyway,
Mexico.
I found it okay. It was fine. I had a great vacation. I had a great vacation. A lot of dogs.
The swim up bar was fine.
Yeah, it was. I had some great food. It was awesome. I was on vacation. You guys weren't on vacation. That sucks. I'm sorry.
No, you were in Mexico and we're dealing with fucking negative 20-degree weather. So yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, exactly. So all in all, I'd say I had a really good week, but I came back to so much missing news and stuff like that. I came back to so much missing news. There was so much that happened this last week, and honestly, the big one I'm like excited to talk about is like the Elon Musk Asmongold debacle. That whole thing is kind of just fun to see how that parsed out. We got a lot of cool things to talk about today. We'll get into all of them. So before we do, let's talk real quick. If you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel, smash the like button, share the video out there, comment in the chat. We are watching the chat, hanging out with you guys, hanging out with us, hanging out with you, and we are having a good time with that. And also, if you haven't already, go check out the merch store with the link in the description of the video. Got a lot of cool t-shirts, super comfortable, super easy to get. The ordering process is fast it's fast and fluid. Thank you, Cody. Help me. It's like I am.
There are only two sexes to choose from when it comes to sizes. It's either man or women.
Yes, male or female.
We couldn't afford to add the 78 other ones, so
I heard they updated it. Now it's like 942. It's been
yeah. Next week it's gonna be like 1024.
It just keeps moving. It's a moving target.
Yeah.
Dude, I did while I was on vacation. I talked to you about this last night. I was watching The Expanse, and it was so fucking good. I watched another episode last night, and I'm on the part where they're going back to Ganymede and everything. The Expanse is just my favorite freaking show.
Oh, season 3, yeah.
Mm-hmm. The Expanse.
Oh, it's so fucking good. I love The Expanse. I love it so much. I'm like, I'm gonna buy all 9 books. I've been going through those, and it's characters that annoy you in the show are so much better in the books where they don't annoy you.
Yeah,
like James Holden and his like righteous indignation, where he's like so self-righteous. It plays better in the books than it does in the show. I
think that probably that absolutely makes perfect sense to me. I mean, the James Holden in the show, he's immediately recognized as like everyone knows his name, even if they don't recognize his face. Like all the characters, are like all the character interactions are as soon as they know or hear the name James Holden, they're all like, "Oh shit!" Like I know this guy's a big deal, and I know I've heard his name. Remember the cant, all that shit. So much freaking fun, but it does. The Darnager. Yeah, it does feel at times like that's kind of forced in some interactions. Not. I would never say it's a problem, but I could see it. I can see where there are opportunities for improvement that the books, the source material, probably didn't have that issue and probably were more fleshed out and better balanced between those characters. So what have you? So what have you heard about Asmongold and Elon Musk outside of like me going over it with you before?
I heard Elon pulled a bitch move and leaked DMs.
Yes. Okay. So let me break it down as best I can for you.
Which, by the way, is like, that's a no. You never do that.
Yeah.
Unless you get permission from the other party.
What was the name of the other guy you were telling me last night who had done it? Was it
so this was as heel versus babyface.
Yes.
And that Starfield rant. It's like fucking pronouns.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah. Actman was reaching out to him, trying to get a conversation or whatever, and Az wasn't really interested. And Mahler was the middleman, and like going back and forth between Az, Mahler, Actman, just trying to get it together. And Az wasn't really that interested, and so it all fell apart. And then the Actman, without Mahler's permission, just leaked all the DMs in a video. It's like, dude. This is like private shit. you could have just asked. There was nothing like really telling or like what would be controversial in the DMs or anything, but it's like, dude, this is like a private conversation. It's like, here we go, world, check this out.
And I mean just to kind of give some context here, this whole thing goes from Path of Exile 2 run that Elon Musk had put forward as his own was being criticized because he was promoted as this high-ranking player in Path of Exile, and he was doing really stupid like misclicks and stuff like that. He wasn't using the quick selects and stuff, and he wasn't organizing his inventory, and he at that point at his current rank in the game should have had thousands of maps that he had ran through in that game. So there was so many things he was doing in like concurrently in his playthrough that were making it more and more apparent that he had actually not managed his own account on this run or on this game.
Botting it.
The idea is he's botting it. Maybe he's having other people play through it for him. I did look into, there was an update today where there was Elon Ma was his Chinese counterpart. I wonder if I can just pull that up.
Elon Ma.
Yeah, I wonder if I could find I want to try to see if I could find Elon's post from today. But yeah, Elon Ma was something that was I think one of his posts from earlier today. Yeah, and
that sounds correct.
I wonder if I could just find that account. But yeah, so Elon Musk was Elon Musk playthrough.
Elon Musk is my brother made in China.
So yeah, I don't know another Elon fake. Trying to see if I can find where it relates to Asmongold. Okay, maybe this is it. Elon streaming PoE cropped 25% evidence against him. Account boosting in PoE, referring to him as Elon Ma is peak X. Okay, yeah, so that's the reference, is that Elon Ma was this character that Elon Musk had created apparently for boosting his account in order to make his account boosted.
Starlink streaming in Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah, Elon Mar-a-Lago. That'd be funny.
It's such some petty bullshit.
Well, and
it's hilarious.
That's the frustrating thing, is that you don't need, like, first off, you don't need to impress anybody with gaming skills. Like, honestly, as a gamer, I would love to know that the guy who's starting a new AI gaming studio would be the guy who's actually good at gaming, but I don't care. We got Colton in the chat. How's it going, buddy? Good to see you. You're missing out this stream. You should have been here. You could have been the one. But Elon...
No, you become a catty bitch when Colton's sitting next to you.
I do. I'm a little bastard. But so Elon... So Asmongold calls out Elon Musk for his PoE playthroughs and them not looking as though he would be the rank he claims to be. But all of this actually goes back to Asmongold was... Elon Musk reached out to Asmongold asking him if he would be interested or have interest in streaming on X, his gaming streams and his show that he does, and seeing what he would want to do on that. But as the conversation progressed, Asmongold just let Elon Musk know, hey, I have editors. I want to talk to them real quick and just see what they think about this. This sounds like a good opportunity. And Elon Musk responds back, interesting. And I love that. So that's the content of the leaks, the leaked DMs that happened.
Wasn't he like claiming it's like, oh, you got editors, so you're not like authentic. You edit everything, blah blah blah.
So Elon hasn't said that. I think he said that Asmongold has to go check with his masters, something to that effect. I'm looking for the original responses back and forth from Elon and Asmon, but they're not in this string. So I'm gonna have to look a little harder for them. Colton reminds us in the chat that he was not invited. Good, smart. No,
There's a reason for that.
I'm just kidding, buddy. I'm just kidding. You were always invited, standing invitation. But yeah, so it actually started off with Elon reaching out to Asmon, trying to get him to stream on X and seeing what that would look like. Asmon says, I have editors I want to talk to, and it seems... So Asmon had an hour-long breakdown on this whole thing, and in his breakdown, he goes over... and actually, I should probably just pull that up so we know exactly which one we're talking about. Not the other one we had apparently fast traveled to, but not the
good
one.
Producer.
Yes. Where is
Just go to videos. It'd be in the top.
right? Maybe okay.
That one.
Yes, so Elon just released the DMs. So in his video, he goes over and he's talking about how he believes that Elon's takeaway from their conversation was that Elon thought his reference to editors meant he had authorities and people checking his content and people looking over and like screening and like a publishing level editor. So in this almost hour-long breakdown that Asmongold goes through, he makes that point. And I think that's a level of misunderstanding that the richest man, one of the most powerful men in the world, probably doesn't make. I would be surprised.
It's not like it's like he thinks that Elon's like thinking of like his editor being like writing at a newspaper or whatever, where you gotta take it to your editor and blah 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 blah. Instead of this, the editors just break down your videos and make entertaining shit out of shit you've already done.
Exactly. So it's
a misunderstanding.
Yeah. So all of that, I don't buy it. I mean, that's Asmon's position. I mean, it's his position to have. He's the one in it. He's the core of the conversation. So I don't have a position to back up against his authority on the topic. It just doesn't seem like that's the kind of misunderstanding that I mean, we've been following Elon Musk for a while, Asmongold for a long time, and it doesn't seem like the kind of misunderstanding that tracks with how he normally interacts with people. Now, the leaking of DMs feels very Elon in the sense that it's like petty as shit. And I like Elon Musk, like for generally speaking, but I really liked a post that I found on X to Asmongold's post. It's actually it's a guy in the MAGA hat saying, "No, evil billionaires who bought the government and want a chip in my brain." And you got Bill Gates and George Soros, and then you got the same guy and I bought the government and want a chip in your brain, and he's going, "Hell yeah!" And I'm like, come on, guys.
I don't know.
Can we get some fucking consistency here on this position? Like, we don't have to suck off Elon every time he makes a mistake, or we don't have to softball it. The leaking of the DMs is absolutely fucking horrendous.
I love that one of the richest men in the world is kind of a petty twat. It's fun, but there are things you don't do it.
Yeah,
exactly. When you're being that petty.
Well, exactly. And so I was actually kind of expecting Asmongold's breakdown to be a little bit more not volatile is the wrong word, a little bit more aggressive in how he was taking it. So I kind of expected him to be a little bit more defensive and have a little bit more to say against Elon. But he really... I
mean, that's pretty cool, though. It's like, hey, check out this private conversation that I'm having with Elon.
Yeah. Well, actually, so the leaks were on X, and as of earlier, I think last night, they were pulled, so they're no longer up there, but we can see them in Asmongold's video. I'm gonna see if my editors might want to make a second account for it even. And then Elon asks who his editors are. He name drops them, and he Asmon through this video is parsing through it. He's checking with his editors, make sure it's okay. He's going through all this stuff. He's telling the story about how he met his editors, where they got connected through, etc. So the video is very well broken down. Asmon does a good job of making sure he's not doing anything that hasn't already been done or isn't okay to do. As far as the leaking of additional content, you wouldn't want to you wouldn't want to title your video "Elon Musk just leaked our DMs" and then leak more on your own by accident. So
leaked our DMs and it just looks like a grinder conversation.
Well, so Asmongold really took this lightly. I mean, he took this super lightly, and I think a couple of the things that the community are really, really more pissed off about on Asmon's behalf are that his verification and his gamer tag or gamer badge were both removed. After Asmongold called him out for his Path of Exile run that looked to be faked, or his account that looked to be faked. So just to make sure, just to recap the order of events, Elon reaches out to Asmon about streaming on X. Asmon says that he's going to talk to his editors, and the conversation more or less fizzles out, and they don't talk to each other for a little bit. Then the Path of Exile drama comes up, and Asmon's reacting to it. He's not the one like breaking this whole breaking the story. So he's reacting to other YouTubers covering it and going over it. And then he makes his own video covering it, and Elon Musk like pulls his verification and his gaming badge from his X account. And that, I think, in addition to the leaked DMs, set a lot of people on fire, because that was the thing you said you were like against when you bought X, and that's the reason you had a lot of support. And maybe not even a majority of the people who backed Elon Musk were about it for that reason, but you had a lot of additional support. Let's say it's 30% of people said we want a completely neutral platform on as far as Twitter goes, so we're going to support Elon Musk. And then 70%.
Yeah, it's a town forum or a town square where it's like it's open to everyone. I like the idea that like Elon's like, fuck this guy, push.
Well, and I had to look into this a little bit last night. So there was when Elon originally bought Twitter, you know, the verification badges were free. Like, you didn't have to spend money. You just had to like put up a phone number or something to be verified. And so it was very, very easy to create verified accounts and verified bot accounts. And then Elon started making attaching a price tag to verification. And then he started purging all the bots. And
yeah, that was soon after he bought it, though. It was like, hey, $8 a month to get a blue check mark.
Yeah,
shit like that.
It was one of the first moves for sure. It was very, very early in that process. You're right. But what he was also doing was he was, for people who were either friends of his or people who were famous and we already had their accounts more or less verified or already knew of their accounts, he was giving them verification for free as in a way to promote the platform and keep growth happening on the platform by having all of these prominent names on it. So that was originally one of the marketing strategies for keeping Twitter big. Right, you didn't want to put a price tag on it and have a mass exodus. So for the people who were the biggest, who complained the hardest about having to pay for it, they gave them verification. And apparently, I'm discovering this for the first time. This is news to me. That the verification and the apparently gaming badge were both gifted to some people. Apparently, as I'm watching,
I did not know. I didn't know about that. I thought it was just a blanket, like everyone. Because you had like celebrities bitching about paying $8 a month for a fucking check mark.
Right?
So.
And I was well, actually, so what would we do with ours? Trying to see if I could find the verification or the profile stuff.
Subscription kind of
premium. Okay. So yeah, the subscription stuff on X is actually, I think, reasonable. You disagreed with me when we were going over this last night. I think that I think $250 or $270 for the ability to post longer videos and stuff like that is perfectly sufficient. You know, for our benefit, if we wanted to post our videos on X, we could, but we would probably want to go to premium just so that you guys know who is Third Party Studios, who's Talks, who's the Cody, Snipe Dog, the whole crew. But then you have the article stuff, like as a publishing forum and stuff like that. That's above what we're doing. But all in all, I think these are pretty fair, reasonable numbers. I guess.
No, I don't like it. I don't like that. It's become a streaming service almost, where it's like, hey, you pay, you don't get ads, or you get like the boosts. Like you pay. So the more you pay, the more like your shit ends up in the algorithm.
Yeah. So so he's talking about. So he's talking about, guys in the chat. The basic account has a small reply boost. The premium account has a larger reply boost, and you get paid to post, or you get paid to post in the sense that, like, when verified accounts interact with each other on X, they generate ad revenue for the original poster of the content. So people who are on Premium, Premium Plus, they will get paid if their posts generate interactions from other verified sources.
And also impressions. And like the more impressions you get, the more pennies you get, basically. But
yes, and this shouldn't be news. I know that when this was originally announced, a lot of creators had broken down this program because they were participating in it. I first heard that story from Tim Pool, who was covering his like going off of X, and he wasn't even like one of the biggest accounts. He was relatively in the high medium range of who was getting paid out versus the upper echelon of people who were making oh god, who was making like $20,000? Like Tim pointed to someone who was making just ridiculous sums of money off of their interactions on X, and it was absurd. It was crazy. Anyway, the fact that you pay for it, here's where this kind of came from for me. I was watching Asmongold's breakdown, and he made a comment on there that I think most people probably missed, and this is why I feel a little less intense about the verification and the gamer badge thing, and I think why he's probably not so frustrated about it is that he made a comment saying that, like, now I'm going to have to start paying for my verification and for my gamer tag. And I'm like, oh,
so he got it for free, and now he's got it.
Exactly. If you watch the full breakdown, it's a passing comment, guys. You got to look for it. I should have marked it. I should have clipped it.
You should have marked it.
I should have.
Fuck, were you thinking?
I should have clipped it. I'll think about doing that later. If I have time, I'll go back and clip it. Otherwise, just go watch the original video. Otherwise, the audience should just go watch the original video, and they'll get up to speed on the whole story. Honestly, I think the reaction about
even him bitching about it's like, all right, yeah, pay the $8 a month. Like,
exactly.
Why are you complaining about it? You have 3.3 million subscribers. I think you can afford it.
Well, and I don't think he's pissed about this at all. So, like, in the video, you hear him talking about like how he's just not frustrated about it. Apparently, this is a journey for him that he's on, where he's trying to not react.
It's basically like, hey, this is what's going on right now.
Yeah,
it's weird.
Do you remember the whole Palestine Israel thing for Asmongold when he was kicked off of Twitch?
What's Palestine? I never heard of it.
Oh, Gaza. Sorry. Oh, what's that? What's that? Sorry. None of these things are fake. Not real. No genocides. There is no such thing.
There's nothing happening across the ocean.
We don't know. I haven't seen it for myself, so it's not real. But no, Asmongold was kicked off of Twitch, and remember when there were posts going around of him cleaning his room and stuff? Like, he was. So I think very recently he probably had like a epiphany about that stuff, and now he's probably trying to take this less seriously. I mean, the impact to him is insignificant when you think about.
Well, I don't think I've ever seen him mad either. He's kind of like a chill dude.
Exactly. The community.
It's kind of the way I would take it, just be like, all right, this is odd.
I think the community reacting is far more aggressive. Like when you have like number one retweet or number one posts are like violating his own terms of service, just minutes. Or just mutes the whole conversation through those he's got no credibility in gaming world or online at all now. Why should we trust him in capacity to be a liaison? Holy shit, to the executive branch with Doge, given this behavior.
Isn't he in like the top 20 or 10 of Diablo 4?
Well,
Elon?
Now that's in question, right? Like, I mean, we can look back and see playthroughs of him doing really well at it, but we don't know that that's necessarily his account either. And someone was talking about how he went on Joe Rogan, and it's like, if you have all these like boosted accounts, you go on Joe Rogan, you talk about being the number one gamer, and Joe Rogan reacts by saying, wow, that's the coolest thing in the world. That's so impressive that you're the number one at this, and you also have all this other stuff going on. It's like, what we don't know now. Now we have to question that, and I would love to see that get adjudicated.
Yeah, there's plenty of interviews too with Elon's going like he's sleeping at the office. He has no time for anything else. You can't become in like top ranked Diablo player. That's the one that I know about.
Exactly.
If you're that busy of a dude.
No,
like I have an extraordinary amount of free time. And I don't think I could get up there.
Well, and I love that there were other videos that were covering this where people were going pretty harsh on Elon about it. Like, oh, my brain just, like, as I'm watching or as I'm gaming, my brain just thinks so hard, and I'm thinking about 12 things at once, and now I'm
building a rocket in my brain while slaughtering hordes of monsters.
Yeah, so there were people who were going pretty damn hard on him, and I get it. Like, first off, that's cheating. Call it out. It's bullshit. He shouldn't do that. I don't know what the penalty socially should be about it. Like, it's a non-issue in my mind. I don't think it's indicative of him like not being able to build rockets or not being the richest man in the planet. It's like he's still the richest man on the planet. Companies are still building rocket ships and making electric cars and like being X online as one of the biggest social media platforms. It's not like
also
this.
Doge.
Yeah,
he's got plenty on his plate.
This is not a. Yeah, it's not a.
It doesn't taint Elon for me.
Yeah, it's not a global indictment on
It's
all of
just
his
like
projects.
I knew he's petty and whatnot beforehand, and that's what I like about him. He's not like a politician kind of like a billionaire where everything's got to be like calculated, whatever you say, blah blah blah. He's just a dude with multiple companies that has billions of dollars.
Well, and if he's okay, so and also one thing to Elon's point, one thing to Elon's point is that he has always been one of the biggest advocates for transparency. And so I don't even know his position on the leaked DMs. Like, you and I count that as a taboo. Don't do that. That's a private conversation, especially when you're two bigger names. Like, all you're doing is reputation burning against each other. And that's really a big part of why it's a taboo. But to Elon Musk, he's like, the bigger you are, the more it should be out in the open what you're saying behind closed doors. Like, you shouldn't be
Yeah,
allowed
it's basically like everything should be public kind of view.
And to the audience, I just want to be clear. I'm not making Elon's position for him. I'm doing my best to interpret his actions and like draw conclusions. So I'm doing my best, but I'm not trying to say that's his belief. But it does seem he acts as though that's his belief, which is kind of why I'm doing what I'm doing with that. But and I mean, like, especially when it came to the Twitter files, when it comes to like his position on releasing like when it comes to declassifying stuff through the government, when it comes to Doge and making sure that even like the omnibus spending bill that happened in politics, like he was like, let's push all of that out. Let's make sure that that's no more of these big spending packages. We're about to come in and clean house, so we don't need another one to deal with, especially when we don't have to. So Elon Musk putting this out there, I mean, it seems petty, but it also is consistent with how he acts like in relation
Yeah,
to
I mean that's totally different though between like Twitter files and whatnot, and then just blasting a private conversation online.
I mean, fair point. I mean, the last thing
I mean, if this private conversation had like massive ramifications, then yeah, I could see that. But it was just like, hey, you want to come stream on my platform? It's like, yeah, I gotta talk to my editor. Blah blah blah. It's like this back and forth. It's inconsequential.
right. I guess the whole thing. So Asmongold is letting it go. Throughout this entire video, the entire sentiment is Elon Musk is going to reverse. Asmongold says that he believes Elon Musk will reverse course, and he'll be convinced. It's not a big deal. Like, he still wants to have a good relationship with Elon Musk. He even made a comment in there. He's like, someday I might want to go to SpaceX and go on a tour and stuff. He wants to be cool with Elon, and this is just not hurting him. Whatever this did obviously didn't scratch him. So I mean, and he's not emotionally impacted by this. I think
Right.
the hour
Could you
long.
imagine pissing off one of the most powerful people in the world? Terrifying.
Dude, I piss off everybody I piss off everybody equally. I think I've made everybody mad at least one time. Not as much as you. You make people hate you. You bitch.
What?
You suck. You're the worst. No,
I'm like the Asmongold in this, where I'm just like, yeah, no, shit happened, whatever.
I'm just gonna
Get on with my day.
Dude, if I had leaked our private conversations, the world would burn. Like everything would just be on fire. But it's
You leak anyone's private conversations, be like, you know how people are like all prim and proper or whatever in public life, where they say everything right, and then you go through the text messages and it's just like, fuck you, fuck. There's a bunch of gamer words in there.
Do you see any of the hypocrisy in this? I do see the hypocrisy in the leaking of the DMs versus his position on X, but I think it's outweighed by his like transparency positions harder. Like I think there's a rationale in Elon's head. I'm not justifying it. I'm just saying there's an explanation that makes sense if you think about it in a certain way from a certain perspective. I don't think that like makes it less bad. I just am curious if you see it as hypocrisy, if you see it as him just being a petty bitch, or like what do you think this is as far as like
I don't even really know, to be honest. It's almost like like these guys would be like fighting in like a LAN party or whatever if like just take away all the yeah, like dollar signs and whatnot and they're just two dudes. It's like this just seems like a squabble at a LAN party.
Well, and Asmon actually talked about that too. Like, remember, he was a guild master for World of Warcraft for a long time, and I mean, he was used to those types of arguments all the time, and so he actually attributes that experience with this whole thing. It's like, I've dealt with these kind of petty things before. They're stupid. They fade out. It's not important. It's not a big deal. I'm fine. He's fine. Like, everyone's good. So like, it's not a big deal. But
When it when it comes to Elon too, I just like, could you focus like more on the Doge thing with Vivek Ramaswamy instead of this kind of shit?
yeah, I would like to see Elon Musk realign his focus as well. Now, I'm hypocritical in that sense because I have also, like, we've just done podcasts like in the last couple of months talking about Elon and gaming and creating a new gaming studio and all of that stuff, and it's like we've been like, yes, make us a gaming studio where we can finally have decent games coming out again. And it's like,
But that's just him. That's just him writing a check though. And
right,
putting people in charge of it.
yeah, that's all he has to do, kind of get out of the way. I mean, I totally know what you mean. God damn, this guy posts a lot. I was hoping to find something on
Well, it's
Elon
his
Musk's side.
platform, so
Yeah, I was still hoping to find something on his side of the world talking about Asmongold, but I was wrong. All in all, I would say that the Elon Musk thing, we have to keep holding him accountable. Like, he is not just a part of government going into the next year or so. He is also the richest man in the world. He is someone that, love him or hate him, we have an obligation to keep our eyes on him and make sure that he is living up to the standards that he is setting. Like, just
very influential figure for the future. So
yeah, it's like the people who hate Elon Musk and the people who hate Donald Trump and the people who hate conservative media, like people like us online, the people who shit about us their argument is that we are like cult captured or identity or we're captured ideologically, and all we can do to prove
we're in an ideological bubble.
yeah, that's yeah, and all we have to do to prove that wrong is just keep holding our the people who are promoted,
hold their feet to the fire.
Yeah, that's all you got to do. It's if you can just prove it by example, then the argument dies instantly. And honestly, Elon Musk, shitty thing to do, leaking DMs. If you have your foot in two different spheres, politics, where you want accountability and transparency, and social media, where there is an etiquette,
and space and electric vehicles, and
I get it. I don't think this was the Rubicon that like ruins things for Elon Musk. I just think it's a big story, two really big personalities clashing, and it seems like Asmon wants it gone or wants to let it fade out. And Elon, I think, has posted a couple of things following up, but this is more or less fading out. So this should be interesting to see if there's any developments this next week. But I expect that this one, now you guys know. Now you guys know what's going on with Asmongold and Elon Musk.
I want more petty stuff between them.
It's fun.
I know Asmon won't like try to do anything like he has power to, but like Elon with all of his power, he just does like little things.
Yep.
Like push Asmongold's buttons or whatever, and then I get a short in my algorithm that's like, all right, here's the update between me and Elon's rivalry.
Oh, I mean, there will definitely be videos to talk about for sure. And maybe we'll have updates next weekend. We'll see. I want to talk about Captain America. You want to move on to that?
Do you really want to talk about Captain America?
I was reading the article on it, and holy shit, that I didn't realize how big this fire was. This is gonna burn them down. This is gonna hurt financially. It's gonna kick them in the balls.
It already hurts financially because they shot 2 movies and cut it into one, and then dropped another 45 minutes out of it.
Yeah. So let's just go through the article real quick from Montanaro over at That Park Place. Captain America: Brave New World runtime shows it's the shortest yet most expensive Captain America movie to date. Troubled film cost nearly $3 million per minute, and I'm just impressed by the amount of money that Disney can burn. Because you remember the last podcast we did? We were talking about Batwoman. We were talking about the Batwoman movie being scrapped as a tax write-off. I saw a couple of comments talking about that, saying that that's actually common practice. I don't suspect that to be as true as it was.
Studios don't make full movies and then scrap them for tax write-offs.
Right. If it costs you $100 million, I don't know how much you're not getting $100 million in taxes written off and back. It's not a 1-for-1. You still lose money doing that. So I don't think that that's actually the practice that the comments made it seem like it was. I'll dig deeper, but for Captain America,
holy shit! All right, I just did the math on that. It's about $345 million to make this movie.
Jesus, I wonder if that. Okay, so 300.
It's probably more. Oh, there we go. $350 million.
Okay, so from that Park Place, at just 118 minutes long, this film will be the shortest Captain America movie to date, yet its budget has reportedly ballooned to a staggering $350 million, which means that it costs a jaw-dropping $2.9 million per minute of runtime. Holy crap. That's...
Yeah, and this thing's been in production for a while.
Yeah.
Like, this, I'm sure I've talked about it multiple times before, but like screenings of this movie in-house, people are like, this fucking sucks, dude.
Well, yeah.
And now Marvel's to the point where it's like, all right, it's passable. So we're gonna release it.
I want to get your take on this part. I have a theory about Endgame and the Infinity Saga. Do you think that the Infinity Saga was a isolated, contained, complete story that needed to be ended wholesale, or if given better films, if given better stories, if not is it stage 4, phase 4,
stage 4 cancer? Yeah.
Yes, phase 4 cancer in Marvel. If it wasn't for phase 4 and the female power led MCU mission, I mean, do you think that there was still more good stories to add into the Marvel universe post Endgame, post No Way Home? I mean, do you think there was more to tell, or do you think it should have been done?
I mean, I don't know a lot about comics and whatnot, but there were paths to go after Endgame, and they chose the worst one, I would say.
Because you wouldn't.
They're playing you could have just slowly phased out the Avengers after Endgame. It's all right, and then bring in different shit like Fantastic Four,
right,
X-Men, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
you didn't have to go into this. D+ also kind of just screwed Marvel as a whole, because they're just starting to make we need to put shit on our streaming service. It doesn't matter what it is or how good it is or whatever. Just we need content.
That's a good argument, because the TV shows, I think, probably hurt the most. I think that was, I mean, I'll clarify. The movies have been almost uniformly bad. I would say there have been a couple of movies that passed the sniff test when it comes to Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which, love it or hate it, it wasn't the sewer pipe sludge that we constantly get. And then you have Deadpool and Wolverine. I mean, there were a couple of, even Thor: Love and Thunder was a travesty, but it had its people singing its praises because there was comedy in it, and there was a couple of things to like with Christian Bale, with the color cinematography was actually pretty good at certain times, and there was comedy in it. Again, I don't want to rehash that debate. We talked.
Do you want to defend that movie?
No, I don't. I'm steel manning the fact that there were a couple of things to like from Marvel over the last several years post No Way Home.
I think there's only 3 movies that are acceptable.
Yeah.
No Way Home, Guardians 3, and Deadpool.
Marvel Jesus. We get
Marvel Jesus.
Well, that's the thing. It's there were if you give people who are passionate and actually love the Marvel universe the wheel, you get successes like Deadpool and Wolverine. You just make something for the fandom, and again, no one's going to a superhero movie expecting cinema, right? we're going there to be entertained. These are not like The Godfather or the Titanic. These are not like masterpieces of entertainment.
Quick question though.
Shoot.
Out of all the superhero movies, would you classify or could you classify one as cinema?
I think you could probably make a soft case for a few of them.
Like Martin Scorsese says it's cinema because he's the one that bashed Marvel. And it's like a roller coaster.
Right. Yeah. Well, and I think you misspoke. He said it's not cinema. I think that's what you meant to say.
Yeah.
Because Robert Downey Jr. talks about that, and after that comic goes wild. I think you could probably make a case for something in there. Now I have to think about the quality of about 30 films right now in this moment, trying to make a case for a question I wasn't really ready for. But I would suspect that out of all of those movies, you could probably I would say that No Way Home is. I would make the case that No Way Home is. It was a story that actually spanned, let's see, 3, 5, 8, 3, 5, 8, and then 2 more. So probably about 10 movies. It was a story that spanned about 10 movies between all of the Spider-Man characters who were involved, all the villains who were involved. And I think that it was emotional. I think it was well directed. I thought it was a good story. I think there's a lot you could say about No Way Home, in the sense that it was more than just your superhero film. It was definitely worthy of all of the praise it acquired, and it definitely earned every ticket sale, I think.
I mean, I'll just, like, on the basis of cinema, I'll disagree with you. I think it was just nostalgia bait, and I love it, but I'm
curious, how would you answer that question? Like, is there one that stands out for you?
I've been going through all of them too. It's like, go off more, like, you got Sin City. Like, it doesn't have to be in the Marvel universe. You got Sin City,
good point.
maybe V for Vendetta. Like, it would be the early 2000s.
Are you thinking The Watchmen? Does that fall in your category, or do you think The Watchmen is...
Watchmen. Watchmen's fucking fantastic.
Right. So I guess I was thinking more Marvel specifically, because it felt like that was the thing Scorsese was talking about, and then obviously Robert Downey Jr. Marvel reacts to it. If you narrow it down,
superhero films can be cinema. Just you gotta take it seriously, I guess.
Yeah, you do have to. Yeah, I think that's a good point. I think I would stand. I mean, maybe this is a bigger conversation. Maybe it's
probably
we could talk about.
Skip it. Skip it. Next.
We'll come back to it. Maybe it's just a bigger conversation. But
Captain America, it's like their projection for opening weekend is 80 mil or some shit like that, and the first one, I think the projection was in the 90s.
Yeah, that sounds about right. But that sounds about right for their projections. But if it gets 50, I'll be surprised. I don't think it'll get there. I think what was it? The Marvels made like 80 in its entire run.
Yeah, it was under 100.
And I think that we can look at the last Captain America film that came out, and I don't think we're gonna.
But you underestimate the normies. Like, it's Captain America, so like people that don't watch trailers or whatever, they're expecting Steve Rogers.
Right.
Like Disbrew has a anecdotal with like going to watch 2019 Joker with Joaquin. His father thought it was like a expanding on Heath Ledger's Joker.
Oh shit!
So it's like the normies don't really pay attention, or it's like there's a name built in. They're like, oh, let's go see that, and it's like nothing what they were expecting.
I don't see the normies saving this. Nah. I don't think so. Now, okay, maybe I'm underestimating. I think my 60 million holds, but at least for opening weekend.
Total box office?
No, opening weekend. Opening
okay.
weekend. Opening weekend. If they're projecting 80, I'm thinking 60. I think that they're probably not going to hit. I don't think they're going to hit their 80. I think that's a really over. I think that's, even though it's lower than the previous estimation or projection, I still think that's way overshooting.
They also count it as a 4-day weekend opening. Because Thursday night, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. and that's bullshit.
Yeah, that's cheating. That's girl math. Um,
Yeah, that's girl math, definitely.
you guys know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean, boy. We know what I mean. But yeah, apparently, so in the article, it goes on to say that the 350 million projection is low, and that it could be even up to 375 million at 3.1 million per minute. And comparing it to, let's see, Captain America: The First Avenger at 124 minutes long with a $140 million budget in 2011 to make 1.1 million per minute. Captain America: Winter Soldier at 136, because you forget how common it is now for movies to go over 2 hours. Like that's almost like required runtime now.
I know that's the complaints for a bunch of people, where like movies should be like 2 hours or less, unless it's like an epic. But I like long.
I do too. You could fit more story, and if you're someone who actually wants a good story in a film, like more story, more setting is good. Now, how you use that time is obviously the catch. That's the thing that matters.
Right. You're already going to the theater and losing over 2 hours because the whole time so you get there, get your snacks, get your seat, watch all the goddamn commercials, and previews.
You're just rounding up. Yeah,
it's like I can spare another half hour.
Right. Captain America: Winter Soldier at 136 minutes long with $170 million to $70 million budget to 1.2 million per minute, and then Civil War, which I get it, it's a Captain America film. I think Captain America: Civil War is miscategorized. I think it's probably a bad title. I get it, whatever. But it's Captain America.
It should have been its own arc, but
agreed.
Whatever.
And maybe it even could have been another like 2 movies or something. Part 1, part 2. Anyway, 148 minutes long with a $250 million budget, and obviously, what a huge spike there.
Well, I mean, 50 million of that went to Robert Downey Jr.
Right. With a 1.6 million
you had,
per minute.
like the whole Avengers cast, so like the casting budget
it was huge.
Yeah.
You had a lot of.
I guess it still made good use of their time, technically.
Yeah. All of that. So then we go into okay. Brave New World is. Let me read this paragraph. Brave New World is plagued by reports of numerous rewrites and reshoots contributing to its inflated budget. With reshoots and marketing, it's estimated that the total cost of the film could approach $500 million. That means the film will have to make somewhere in the neighborhood of $1 billion to make a profit. It doesn't stand a snowball's chance in hell of getting close to that number. If it breaks,
No.
I would be dumbfounded, absolutely dumbfounded. If even global numbers, it breaks 500 million. That would surprise.
Is that going to be your estimate? 5?
Well, 500 million is the cost of as an estimated cost of the film. That's the number that the article gives us to work with. I don't think it's going to.
What's your estimated? Like, how much do you think it's going to make globally?
I would like to see what Marvel's made, and not because I think it's going to be comparable, but as a baseline. I think it'd be good to know what the baseline for Marvel's was.
Well, I mean, Doctor Strange made, or no, was it Ant-Man? I think Ant-Man made like 470-ish.
I think, well, if that's what that number is, then I'm probably pretty far off. Okay, actually, Marvel's. So the estimated budget for Marvel's was 220 million. We already know that from like the tax returns and stuff, or like the tax documentation for Disney, that was bullshit and way far off. I wish they'd come back and correct some of these numbers. But then the gross worldwide was 206 million. So it lost money on even its estimated budget. So 200 million from Marvel's, and then you see Ant-Man's success, or Ant-Man's making about 400 million. I really, really don't think that that Anthony Mackie's Captain America Falcon character is that popular. I think that the Red Hulk is also going to turn off normies.
Captain America's popular. Falcon's not.
Right. I think that I think Red Hulk is going to turn people off. I think it looks cheesy and stupid. I think all of the star power that comes from Harrison Ford is immediately offset by anyone even watching half of the trailer and seeing Red Hulk. So I don't think people are going to look for it and be like, "Oh, look, a Harrison Ford's in this. It's going to be awesome." Someone's going to tell that person he's Red Hulk. And then
I don't think Harrison Ford. I don't think Harrison Ford has that star power anymore.
Not anymore. But that's what I'm saying.
I don't think anyone really gives a shit.
I think Paul Rudd as Ant-Man, people are going to that movie because it's a comedy. I think people are going to that to laugh a little bit. I really don't think this is... I got to answer your question. I can't just leave your question out there hanging and not answer it. So with an estimated total cost of $500 million, what do I think this will make? If Ant-Man's most recent film made $400 million, I would guess this probably makes about $400 million, maybe $350 to $400 million. That's what I would guess. I don't think this is going to be as popular as Ant-Man. I don't think Captain America movies tend to be. I don't think Captain America movies tend towards the most successful of the franchise. So that's my guess. I mean, are you thinking it's going to break its 500 million?
No. Hell no.
What's your number? I'm just curious.
I'm gonna go
300 million. Okay, so I'm even a bit higher than you are on that.
It's the last like successful Marvel movie was Doctor Strange Mom, and I think like after it was all said and done, marketing and whatnot, the return was like $80,000 that they made.
It covers one salary. That doesn't even cover one salary of the crew at Disney. Disney Marvel.
I don't know if you know this about like millionaire investors, but they don't spend millions of dollars to make 50 grand.
What? What are you telling me, Cody? What are you saying right now? You troublesome fool, you.
I mean, I would.
I would take that 50,000 in a heartbeat. That sounds great. I love cash. All in all, this movie is going to bomb so freaking hard. I hope people are entertained by this because it's not doing anything for story. It's doing nothing for storytelling. It's doing nothing for Hollywood. I'm frustrated that Anthony's still doing this project and still a part of it. He used to be the guy who was singing the praises.
I love Anthony Mackie and whatnot, and he's good as Falcon. It's just they like in Winter Soldier, they're basically setting Bucky up to be the next Captain America. Yeah. But in 2019, we had so much fucking DEI and diversity and blah 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 blah. That's like, now we gotta make Falcon
exactly
next Captain America. It's like, dude's not even a super soldier. Fuck, he is.
Well, that was actually frustrating. That was another frustrating thing. I wish they had the photo in here in the article somewhere, but you have Captain America like holding up his shield and blocking Red Hulk's punch. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, they better explain in the movie that they gave him super serum or made him super strong somewhere in this film. Like, that's not something that could be slept on.
You know how they got he's got a full vibranium suit, so that's how he can take the punch.
Okay.
Because vibranium absorbs energy, but it doesn't really explain how he can do like super strong shit.
That's the thing. That's the thing. It's they need to explain that, or just, I mean, for fuck's sake, just if he's gonna be Captain America long term, give him some super serum so that he can be like Captain America. And I like it. Like
take the jab, man.
Just take the vaccine. But Anthony, I like Anthony Mackie a lot as an actor too. But he used to sing praises about. He used to be a lot more based, and I just don't. I don't think they're putting. I don't think they're utilizing.
Sandwich. You ever see that?
I did. That's what I'm talking about. He did that, and he was talking about actors in Hollywood. Like he was very aware that you are not going to see superstars anymore. There's no Sylvester Stallone film. There's no who else was he talking about? The governor of New York, the Arnold Schwarzenegger. You're not going to see the Sylvester Stallone, the Arnold Schwarzenegger, the Tom Cruise. Like, they don't have like star power anymore. You're going to see the Captain America. You're going to see the Iron Man. You're now it's about characters. It's not about actors anymore. Yeah. And he was very aware of that. Yeah. And I'm just sitting here thinking, I'm like, dude, you used to be like so aware of this stuff. You have to know that this movie's a flop. And I just wish we were like getting like Henry Cavill. And even, who was the girl who played Wednesday in that Netflix series spinoff of Addams Family? Like, you have actors who are actually pushing back against their writers and against their teams. And
Jenna Ortega.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, holy shit.
You have actors who actually stand up to their writers and say, like, this doesn't make sense. You're doing a bad job with this. Like, this isn't how this character would behave. Like, we need actors to call out their writers more. I mean, you're playing the role. You understand how this character should interact in this moment. The writer is missing something. You're not doing the film. You're not doing the studio. You're not doing yourself, the industry, entertainment, and as a idea. You're not doing any of it any good if you're just keeping your mouth shut and taking a paycheck. Like, so it's frustrating. It's frustrating as shit.
Well, I
man.
think you would have gotten the idea when they had to reshoot the entire movie. I was like, oh, this isn't great.
Well, he's in it. He's contractually obligated. I mean, there's a million reasons why he has to stick it out, but it's not like that was an excuse that stopped Ortega or Cavill from fighting back. I mean, shit, even Ryan Reynolds. I mean, you could actually make the case Ryan Reynolds is the best advocate for, like, saying fuck off to the writers or the studios. It's like, if you could be Ryan Reynolds in this industry. Now, there's 10,000 typical actors to every one Ryan Reynolds, but I'm just saying we need more people who are powerful in Hollywood, recognizable names to stand up and just push back a little. Like, think about how much better your movie would be if we had some belief that your writers or your actors were going to do a decent portrayal of the characters, right? I mean,
all right,
it's just bullshit. Fuck you, piece of shit.
Fuck you. But I mean, like, the other thing Marvel's doing with, like, Daredevil.
Oh yeah.
That those people actually care. It seems like they're taking themselves, like, seriously. We're not just making a dumb fucking Hollywood Marvel movie or whatever. We're trying to do something. We're telling a story.
Yeah. Well, and who was Murdoch was a character who came in on She-Hulk. Was he a recurring character? I mean, it's a one season, so I mean.
Nah, I think he was just in that one episode, and then he had to take the walk of shame.
Cameo. Oh, that's right. He had to take the walk of shame because it was a girl. It was oh god, that was such a gross fucking show. I hated it. Not gross in the sense like ew cooties or ew germs. It was just like such shit, and the writers were obviously up sniffing their own assholes and smelling their own farts on that one. It was just so shitty. It's like everything about it. Obviously,
BT Dubs, you're kind of cutting in and out, and I think we're on a lag for some reason.
Okay. I don't think.
Not sure what exactly to do about it, but
yeah, keep an eye on that. Let's see if it gets better, but I don't think there's anything I can do about that. It
was slowly getting better.
Okay,
it was worse.
We need that 1 gig. We need that 1 gig internets. That's the problem. We're running on hamster wheel internet.
It's not that.
No, it's not.
It's just not the best.
It's not the best. It could be better. The Daredevil trailer. So the Daredevil.
Could be better, Senator.
Yeah, you could do better, Senator. Actually, I found that. Did you see this?
You gotta do better, Senator.
I pulled this up. This is still one of the funniest lines in one of the most quotable moments in all of Marvel. It's this moment. It's hilarious.
That show is so dumb.
Yeah, it was not.
Falcon can't get a fucking loan because he's black.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you're part of the Avengers.
Yeah, there's literally half of all humanity vanished. You'd think you'd think the society would have come together a little bit to survive, and kind of racism would die, I think, almost instantly if half of the population just vanished instantly at random. Like, it's like, oh shit, we don't have anyone doing anything because we only have, like, imagine going to a McDonald's and they only have half their employees.
We lost all of our Mexicans. Who's gonna pick our fruit?
Exactly. Exactly. Half the fruit gets picked. You're definitely if you want open borders, all you have to do is wipe out half the population. Get to work. Indiscriminately. Thanos. I like that better. But Daredevil Born Again trailer shows a potential. So this is the story again from That Park Place. Daredevil Born Again trailer shows a potential return to dark, gritty, and violent Marvel TV with no girl boss in sight. I love that. Like, that's something we didn't need in the first place. I mean, it's weird that I
mean, you could have left out the last part of that headline with no girl boss in sight. It's like, you don't. It's just like a return to form.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, this is neutrality. Like the first part of this headline is neutrality.
Like
that
the last part of the headline seems like, and there's no women.
it's, it's dudes only. We love it. So I mean, everyone likes Charlie Cox in this show. I mean, it seems like he is probably the
he is the definitive Daredevil.
right. Ben Affleck
I mean, there's only been
failed.
two, but he almost like became the role towards he's gonna be like one of those actors in a role to where it's like you can't like shove anyone else into that role.
Right, exactly. It's going to be one of those hard to replace ones. Like,
Yeah.
not to. This isn't a segue. I don't want to move off to this, but I'm just saying that like talking about like the iconic cast members of very popular and beloved IPs, like Harry Potter is probably the thing to point to, right? It's like Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, the Ginger. They all are so iconic and
Rupert Grint.
that's what I said.
Say his name.
The Ginger. We're saying the same thing. Like we're both.
Oh, okay. I see how it is.
Yeah, it's obvious that I'm racist against gingers. That's the de facto position.
No, it's totally allowed and acceptable in society to be racist against gingers.
But who was the actor who played Malfoy, Draco Malfoy? He was talking about how it'd be really cool if some of the actors came back to play the older characters in the new series. And I think it would be cool. I think it would detract from what they're trying to do. But I would definitely bite on that nostalgia bait. Like if you had some older cast members some of the older cast members come back to play like professors, like Draco Malfoy would actually, I think, play an interesting Snape, or I think he could. Then
I mean, Gary Oldman wants to play Dumbledore, so
yeah. So I mean, like
and he played Sirius Black.
Exactly. So I think there's an argument to be made there, and again, I am derailing this whole thing talking about that. I just thought it was an interesting point because I just saw it on YouTube where that was being brought up, and I was just curious. But we do have the trailer here. Been having some technical issues with playbacks on this, so we'll do our best here. But let me just zoom in. I'm gonna have to mute myself, Cody. And so, but everyone should be able to hear you and the trailer. So just tell me to pause. I'll hear you. You'll probably hear me, but the audience won't hear me until I unmute myself. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you for finding the time. I will admit, it's not entirely unpleasant seeing you again.
It's kind of like a meta commentary, where it's like almost talking to it's like, yeah, it's kind of pleasant seeing you again.
Yeah, it's a nice return to form, as I think you would say. Like we're back in the saddle again. We're all here, enjoying this new series we're all gonna be watching together. Like you guys should like it. You guys should be happy that we're back. It's like,
and it's like there was that reporter or whatever on the red carpet or whatever the fuck it was for Agatha all along, where it's like,
yeah,
I heard this is the gayest Marvel show that's ever been around. They're like, yeah, it is. And the thing around this one is that this is the most rated R thing that Disney's ever done.
Which I mean, they've done.
They did Deadpool.
They've done, yeah.
So,
I don't think it will be more rated R than Deadpool. In the
it's hard to beat.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to outperform that. Now, I've watched this trailer. This isn't. I've watched this trailer before. Obviously, you and I both know. We'll let this happen organically, but obviously, there's some really cool returning cast members and cool characters that are coming back into it. And I'm excited for that. I hope they're not just cameos, and maybe they're a bigger part of it. But if not, that'll be fine too. Okay. Jump right back into it.
A lot of time has passed. By the look of it, you've come up in the world.
I could say the same about you.
The mayor serves his city. I can see you're not entirely convinced.
Can you blame me?
Okay, so he's mayor in this. Was that actually at the end of the original? Like, was he? Because
I never actually got around to season 3 because it switched over to D+ and fucked off of Netflix.
So we'll have to check that out and look into that a little bit deeper again too, because it's obviously
Yeah, I know that's the storyline with Kingpin though. He becomes the mayor of the city and whatnot.
right.
In this, it seems like both of them have kind of like oh, not went their separate ways, but like stopped being like Daredevil stopped being a vigilante and Kingpin stopped being this fucking mob boss basically.
Yeah.
And I think this is like going back into it.
I want to look at
something happened. Some triggers the event where they both step in their previous roles.
Right. I want to go back to the old Ben Affleck one because he. What did you think of? I cannot. I love the actor.
Mark Duncan.
No. Wilson Fitt. No. Yeah, Michael Clark. Yeah. Sorry. Yes. I mean, what did you think of his role in playing? Who did you like better for it? I guess.
Oh, Vincent D'Onofrio is infinitely better, but Duncan in that movie was great too.
No, I really like Duncan as I liked him better. First, like,
he's just more physically intimidating. Yes, but.
Definitely. The other thing is I like the voice actually feels better for Kingpin because obviously in the trailer that we're watching and obviously in the original show that is. Or the first show in the first 3 seasons when you have the Kingpin coming in, the low raspy talking voice, it's so obviously fake when actors do that I really don't like that. And it's not the end of the world. It's just if I'm comparing characters, if you're giving me an actor who's just going to do the low raspy voice, I really don't prefer that to someone who just has an actually low toned voice. It's just more natural, organic. So it's the voice, it's the more intimidating body. I thought he portrayed Kingpin really, really well. So it's really, really ridiculously good looking.
Like really, really ridiculously well. No, I like Vincent in his portrayal. It's like almost like because they go on his backstory a little bit, and with like a timid kind of like almost like autistic kid.
Mm-hmm.
And then like he kind of like grows out of it, I would almost say, to where it's like he's almost still got this stutter and whatnot, and how he speaks where it's almost like a tremble at the end of a sentence or some shit.
Right.
I don't know. It's just more like character.
Okay. Well, and obviously we couldn't have gotten that from the Daredevil film. No. So I mean, you have 2 different mediums of television versus movie to play against. So it's I think given equal opportunities, I'd choose the black guy. I thought he just did great. I don't know. Does that make
we're not fucking picking a basketball team here, all right?
You bitch. You're such a pity bitch.
I choose the black guy.
All right, let's keep going. Let me change the audios.
I can't shake the feeling that you're gaming the system.
Why did you stop being a vigilante?
The line was crossed.
All right, pause. That line, the line that was crossed, we don't know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like it could be like either Karen or Foggy get fucking aced or whatever, or he could have ended up killing someone. That's why he stopped doing it. But
right. So I mean, like, that's about as much as I know about the lore of the original series. Is that once you started introducing Punisher into it, he started becoming much more of a central role to it, and so I was kind of originally thinking that was the reference back to it, but was that the Punisher was going to be the reason that something went wrong, and he just couldn't categorically he couldn't put himself in the vigilante category as like Punisher, and so
something happened. The line was crossed, and no one like in the general public knows what the line is, so it wasn't something that happened in the previous series.
Okay, gotcha. That's
like I could have speculated it was something that happened season 3, which I didn't watch, but it apparently wasn't that. So
okay, gotcha. Let me bring it back.
Bring it back now.
It's hard to come to terms with a violent nature. Hating the power it has over us.
The city can't go unchecked.
Sorry, I just wanted to say, like, there's a lot of like characters I don't recognize, like the gang with the different colored hoods, like the guy who was being escorted through jail. Like, there's a lot
The
of
guy who was escorted through jail is Bullseye. He was in season 3.
Oh shit. Okay, so they did bring Bullseye in at some point here.
Yeah. He stole. He got Daredevil's costume and whatnot, and was basically playing as Daredevil.
Oh,
In
that's
season 3.
that would have been
Oh.
that could have messed things up quite a bit. That's definitely worth seeing because Colin Farrell will always be Bullseye to me. Like there's no, I mean, Colin,
kills an old lady with a peanut or some shit.
yeah, he's like chokes him out, like chokes him with the peanut. That, yeah, he will always be Bullseye. But now I see that they did try to fill the role. I'm very curious to see how they stack up and compare. So I gotta check that out. At least his parts.
I mean, Colin Farrell's wild.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he was wild, but it's like his mix up with Ben Affleck's Daredevil was actually really good. It was really good. Like I enjoyed the shit out of the OG Daredevil with Ben Affleck, though. I mean,
Yeah, it came out in 2003. We were like, what, 9?
we young people, we were young at the time. It was
Yeah.
PG-13
So yeah,
action.
of course we liked it back then.
PG-13
I
ninjas.
should rewatch it now and see what I think about it.
Yeah.
I'm sure a bunch of nostalgia will wash over me and be like, no, it's still fucking great.
All right, we'll jump back into the trailer. Hold on.
Sometimes peace needs to be broken. And chaos must reign.
Mind putting the hatchet down?
I paused. So we got Vanessa, which is the love interest of Kingpin. The same actress from the Netflix series.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't going to. She was recast because Daredevil Born Again. They shot this show. They shot like 7, 8 episodes or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the writers' strike hit.
Oh,
And
that's
so
right.
they scrapped everything and then rewrote everything. And this is what we're getting now. So she was going to be recast. Karen and Foggy weren't going to be in it. Probably want to see the Punisher. It'd be a lot more Marvel, jokey, quippy, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm. Do you?
And so, yeah, they scrapped all that.
Good.
Now we're
We
going back to the Netflix one.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
We definitely don't want like the gimmicky, cheesy jokester stuff in a Daredevil's project. Like, but actually, I wanted to ask you something about the Daredevil. Like in the OG 2003 Ben Affleck one, he sleeps in like a water, like a sensory deprivation tank. Does he do that in this, or is that just not a factor? Because in the original,
I haven't seen it.
oh, okay, you haven't seen the tank. Because in the
No, he's just a normal dude.
in the
Sleeps on a bed.
right in the movie they play to the in the movie with Ben Affleck, they play to that because that's actually part of his character growth. Him overcoming that obstacle basically made him a superhero because he had obtained that ability through, and then obviously he's being overwhelmed and stuff. So they must have included it for that reason. If that's not his character arc in the Netflix show, in the
Well,
Disney
no, in
Plus
this
show,
one, as a kid or whatever, he gets fucking chemical spilled on him,
Mhm.
goes blind, blah, blah, blah. Sensory overload. And then Stick, his mentor, comes in at a very young age and kind of trains him how to suppress and use his senses in a certain way.
right. So I was just
He becomes a ninja
a ninja.
at like age 13.
So, any news on whether or not the Punisher, the Frank character, is going to be significant in the show? Is anyone talking about that? Obviously, he just made an appearance in the trailer, so I mean, we know he's going to appear. But is there any hums about how significant his role will be in the show?
I don't know about that, but I know that the Punisher will be true to form in the Netflix series because John Bernthal said, he's like, I'm not coming back to play the Punisher unless it's like the Punisher.
Did you see his
So-
podcast where he was going over that? Like he goes into a comic book store and he's like, I need
Oh yeah, he's just like, I need a bunch of Punisher comics or whatnot.
yeah, and
Someone
then
to recognize him.
someone recognized him and says, and he's like, I need a bunch of comic books, and he like finds a bunch, and then he gets recognized, and the guy's like, no, you're not reading those, you're reading these, and he gives him like he gives him a new stack of Punisher material to
If
read
you're gonna
from
play
instead.
Punisher, you're gonna do it right, and this is the ones you need to read.
Well, and that's the thing. It's like you need to fall. If you're an actor, you should fall in love with your character. Like you should do your best to portray them. And honestly, comics, I get it, man. That would be a tough one to like try to iron out a character role for, because there's so much variety in source material. And hell, the studio can lie to you and just say, oh no, we're in a different universe where this one makes more sense. It's like there's so many different ways to play most of the characters. I mean, that's the whole what if project that Disney has been doing for a couple of years, right? It's like all of these different variations and takes on how Marvel would unfold or play out if you had the different roles of characters. So yeah, you have to get the source material correct. And honestly,
and everyone loves season 1 Punisher.
Yeah.
And when he showed up in season 2 of Daredevil, the dynamic between Daredevil and Punisher was fucking fantastic in that.
Hell yeah. And I think that I don't see any reason to suspect that it will fade out. I think it's just going to keep getting, like, I think that dynamic between those two characters will continue to be amazing so long as the writers can do their part, right? The actors Go ahead.
So yeah, it's kind of like I want to say a spinoff, but like continuation of the Netflix series, but none of the writers returned from the Netflix series.
And that's good. Or, well,
No.
no, it's. I mean, I thought I misheard you. I thought you were saying none of them returned from the writer's strike. I didn't register the last half of your
From
sentence.
the original series, none of the writers are involved in this one. So.
Right, I gotcha. What I was gonna say is the chemistry between the two actors is obviously there. So if the writers can do their part, that would be then you can create good entertainment through these characters. But everyone's got to do their part. We're a team.
Everyone's got to do their part.
One team, one dream. All right.
Hit it.
Raised to believe in grace. But I was also raised to believe in retribution.
I forgot to mention, YouTube does not like compound fractures.
No, there's a lot of cracking in this. There's a lot of bones and stuff. You hear it in the bones.
Yeah, but I'm liking that they're bringing back the violence and whatnot, and it's more serious.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think that it's going to be. I think it's going to be pretty epic. And honestly, March 4th, that's soon.
Cautiously optimistic. Or it's like, it still is Disney, but they put out a fucking banger trailer, and the show could be nothing like the trailer.
That's true. Although, if you're going to include the crunches and stuff like that, it's hard to imagine. I mean, all I need is a single crunch. I just need one crunch.
I just need one crunch. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna watch it. I'll end up reviewing it.
Yeah, okay.
We're talking about it. But yeah. I love the trailer. And I hope, because not Disney, but Marvel has been on this upward swing toward, like, they fired a fuckload of people. Like, if you're an activist, get the fuck out. And they're slowly trying to get back to what they were.
You know, it was probably big enough and significant enough for it to be its own story, but we're not really covering it. Just to make a quick point, Disney and Marvel are not alone on that front. Like, so many major and huge corporations are making that same adjustment, where they're realizing activists are dominating their workspace. They're seeing it. They're seeing the frustration with it, and they're starting to. I'm not that optimistic that it's going to make any kind of a meaningful difference.
Some companies are. It's not.
Right. There's still holdouts.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced this cleaning of house that all these corporations are doing are going to move the needle. Yeah, I'm hearing it. I hear you cutting out as well. Yeah. Oh, hopefully the stream's still going okay. You still with me, bud?
and it's gone silent.
Who's silent? I'm silent, or you're silent? Oh, dang it. Sorry, guys. We got some technical issues in the studio. Just sit tight. We'll fix it, and we'll be right back. Hold on. All right.
All good.
All right, guys, we are back. Sorry about that. Sorry about the delay. Sorry about the quiet. Just had some technical issues through our platform that we were using to chat. But we are back talking about Daredevil, and actually, I think we've covered it.
Got around this course on it, yeah.
Yeah. Let's move on to our next story. We're going to be talking about Witcher 3 director. So the story goes from Montanaro over at the Park Place. The Witcher 3 director who left CD Projekt Red releases trailer for new fantasy RPG, The Blood of Dawnwalker, that puts Witcher 4 to shame. And yeah, I've watched this. It's a cinematic trailer, so it's not indicative of gameplay, things like that. And just because
there's like a snippet of gameplay at the end, but I don't.
So I mean, tell me about the. Do you know anything about the lore of this new project? I mean, what's the premise?
I don't know anything except for like, I don't know. There's some injustice based on like the cinematic trailer or whatever. There's some injustice in these vampires. Like, we're gonna fix this, and then like you're a daywalker. You're a vampire. You're like half vampire, half human. There is a time limit / cycle in this game where it's like you have a 30-day time limit.
That's interesting. So it's got a clock. It's got a clock on it.
Yeah, it's got a clock on it. So you can't do everything in the game in a one playthrough. Your powers differ between day and night and blah blah blah. But story-wise, no fucking idea.
Okay, because I mean, honestly, this looks beautiful, and we're not reacting to the trailer. I'm just showing a couple of glimpses into the cinematics that they're doing. It's really intense, and I love what they're doing for it. But I mean, this is pretty. I guess this is kind of what we would have expected to see from someone who was so involved in the Witcher franchise, or at least involved in the successes of The Witcher. Because obviously,
well, I would say the creative director of The Witcher was massively involved in it. Yes.
Right. I just think that it. Well, I mean, I wasn't making the counterpoint. I'm just saying that like the Witcher 4 franchise is people are starting to fall out of love with the media versions of it, mainly because they're being captured, ideologically captured, and being like you have bastardized. You have girl boss moments. You have, what was the Netflix spin-off series they did? That was like seemingly universally hated by Witcher fans.
Oh, I forgot about that. It was like Blood Moon or something.
Yeah, Blood something. But Henry Cavill like exiting the Witcher project, and he was like he's like so excited, posting all these amazing things about Witcher, so excited to play the role, and then just fell out of love with his project, or the project that he was involved in. And honestly, he's not like alone. Like a lot of people fell out of love with it as it continued. But the fact that we have the director who left and is going to be starting a new project or a new fantasy RPG, this is exciting, because this is what we've been talking about here. It's like, go make new shit, go make new, better, fun, exciting stuff. And You don't need AAA tremendously large studios to pull this stuff off. You just need a little bit of time, some resources, and just effort. And the desire to do so is, I think, one of the biggest obstacles. Because
Yeah, and these are basically the people that left when CDPR went full DEI.
yep, and
And they're like, we're gonna give time off for menstruating, and then like dudes started taking advantage of that. It's like,
Yeah.
I can menstruate.
I can do it too.
Like, all right, I'm leaving this company.
The vampire thing, the 13th century vampire thing is super cool though. So it's like really good medieval setting. You're dealing with vampires. You're gonna be slaying and swinging your sword around, kicking ass. I'm
I
excited.
want a good vampire game because they're like none really out there.
There really aren't.
We got like Vampire back in a couple of years ago. I never played it.
But it existed, and it wasn't like
It existed.
wasn't like a major blockbuster. Or I wouldn't make the case that it was a major blockbuster.
No, it really wasn't.
Yeah, and
I
then
think the best, like the definitive one, would be like Bloodlines. And then that came out in like fucking 04 or something.
yeah, I mean, then we have just comments in the article talking about the comparison between this and the Witcher 4 teaser trailer. Like, this is beautiful. This is amazing. This is really getting me excited for a new project. And I can't.
Yeah, and they're like in summer we'll fucking drop a gameplay trailer. So I imagine this is gonna drop late this year.
Yeah, I mean, I mean that timeline makes sense to me. It's The Witcher 4 is probably the more concerning project to be, because we've only seen the teaser trailer for it, and there's still a lot more to be fleshed out. But you know, from CD Projekt Red, I'm starting to really suspect that they're going to be doing some Sweet Baby Inc. inclusions and bullshit like that into the project, and they're just not showing it.
I'm actually kind of surprised by my own reaction to Witcher 4, to where it's like I'm apathetic to it. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Once it was like revealed that you're playing Ciri, it's like I got no problem with Ciri as a character, good character, but I just don't care. If you were gonna make a fourth, you should have just almost made it more like customizable.
Yeah,
Main character.
exactly. I mean, the Witcher universe is large enough that you could also find probably a new character to play into it, right? I mean, like there's unexplored territories. That was their whole.
You could create another Witcher from a different school or something.
Yeah,
but
I mean that was
like working.
Wasn't that their whole argument for the spin-off show that we just talked about? It's like their whole argument was that we could do new things in the Witcher universe. It's like that was their whole.
I don't think you can.
Yeah, honestly,
you specifically can't, but maybe someone else could.
All right. So what do we got here? So from Rebel Wolves is taking a fresh approach to open world storytelling. Describes the game as a narrative sandbox where the distinction between main and side quest is deliberately blurred. Every choice matters. The progression of time ensures that no playthrough will be the same. This emphasis on replayability and player agency is a welcome shift for the genre, especially after years of cookie-cutter RPGs from larger studios. You know, I think about this and I compare it to like Larian Studios with like Baldur's Gate, where there's obviously not a clock on it, but you do have so much. Like, the thing that made that amazing is that the character creation and your playthrough and the choices were still impactful and significant to the story, but it didn't have a clock on it. This new clock idea, and the idea that you have, like, you're not telling them what the side and main quest lines are, or at least making that intentionally difficult to interpret, I think that's a brilliant take on the idea. Yeah.
Well, it's like with one, I'm not a big fan of time limits in games. I fucking hate them, but maybe this will work and I'm gonna play it. But with The Witcher 3, and everyone's been trying to kind of copy this since it dropped, is that the side quests are almost a main quest in itself.
Mm-hmm.
Like the whole Bloody Baron side, there's this, you meet him in this story, but then also he's got his own side quest, and that side quest goes on for like fucking hours, and it's a story in itself, and it's so fucking good. And they have multiple side quests like that.
But they're not. But you're not a fan of the time resource management thing?
I fucking hate time limits in games.
Let me see. So we got a quote
if I'm
here.
rushed to do something in a game, it it stresses me out, man.
I understand that. I wonder
'Cause
what
I
the
want to
timeline.
do everything possible in the game.
I wonder what the
It's like I wanna
timeline
hit every step.
will look like actually. Like how long you'll have like of in-game time. I
It's
wonder what.
30 days that I heard, but I don't know how long a day lasts.
Right. In Minecraft, that's 10 minutes. So it's not a long time.
Yeah, it's not going to be that short.
So the quote goes, time is a resource, and with each quest progressing its passage, it is impossible to complete all stories and arcs before the dreadful deadline, making each playthrough unique. I think that's amazing. I like that a lot. I think that that's a good way to approach gaming. Like, you used to tell me once upon a time, like this is back when like Shadow of War and Shadow of Mordor were kind of coming out and being talked about in multiplayer because every area of the map was maybe a little bit more difficult, but you had all of these side quests, all these little things you had to go and pick up and clean up around the map that were basically just these nuggets of white goo left behind by the writers who were jerking themselves off. And
It's ectoplasm. There was a ghost.
Ectoplasm. Oh, it's a ghost.
It's a spooky ghost.
I love that reference right now. That's so freaking. That lands so hard for me since I've been watching South Park. But yeah, you. I mean, are you now playing games like especially RPGs as a clean up as I go, get through, make sure I get everything and get the full experience out of a game, or are you still playing like a main quest line and if only the side quests that are interesting, or are you still?
I'm trying to train myself out of like good examples. I'm replaying Mass Effect Andromeda right now,
Yeah.
and I've actually gone more down the rabbit hole of like I have to do everything on this planet before I leave it and go to the next story thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to train my brain out of that. It's like go to the story thing, you can always come back instead of spending 10 hours doing random bullshit and then picking up the story again.
Right, and I mean it's.
But I'm becoming more OCD in the fact where it's like I gotta do everything that I can do here and now, and then move on.
Right.
But
I think that so another line at the end of the article kind of goes something like, so for those disillusioned by CD Projekt Red's trajectory, The Blood of Dawnwalker offers hope, return to uncompromised artistry and storytelling that doesn't bow to modern ideological trends. It's a game that promises to prioritize player immersion and creativity over messaging, a refreshing direction in today's gaming landscape. Yes, I think that, what was the name of their studio? Rebel Wolves. Yeah. So Rebel Wolves Studio, I like it. We need more studios that are coming out and just bringing us back to neutrality. And
it's like they're taking notes from their neighbor over at War Horse Studio that makes Kingdom Come Deliverance, and that one's coming out next month, I think, too.
Yeah, I think gaming has a good. I'm excited to see where gaming goes. In the context that we have Larian Studios, who's just still winning awards even 2 years after release. Got a new patch they're doing stress tests for, I think in the upcoming month or two, and that patch is going to be huge. So Baldur's Gate 3 is still a big thing. You have Black Myth Wukong, Space Marines 2. You had all these huge wins for gaming last year. And
quick side note: when it comes to Larian Studios and Baldur's Gate 3, they have the world record of the most like the biggest, longest script, most dialogue or whatever in a game.
Whoa! And they don't even have AI.
All right, I think it's like 1.8 to 2 million lines of dialogue or some shit.
Jesus. Well, good.
And CD Projekt Red, Warhorse with Kingdom Come 2, I think it's reported to be up to 2.2. I think
that's insane.
Million. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I wonder how that compares
that's a
to
long ass fucking script.
Well, but I wonder how that compares to games like Mass Effect, where like because I know you love the spinning the dialogue wheels. I know you love them. I know you love dialogue choices. So I'd be curious to see how that compares to like those games, which were back when we were doing the War Room on the channel. I mean, you made the case for that for game mechanics. I think when we were doing the game mechanics War Room. So I'm curious to see how much dialogue Mass Effect games have.
Yeah, I mean it's nowhere near that because they're shorter games.
Well, and they're much older. I mean, I'm not.
much older.
Yeah, I would say like I'd love to see the proportionality to it, not
A lot of
necessarily the
games,
scale.
a lot of games these days like give you the illusion of choice, where it's like, all right, pick your response, and then you could go through all three, and then your character says something, and then the response from another character will be the same.
Well, like Dragon
regardless.
Age Veilguard, where no matter what you do, you can't piss off your teammates.
Yeah, it's either yes, yes, or yes.
I love that. Honestly, I'm excited for this. I'm definitely gonna give this one a shot. Sounds like you're looking forward to maybe doing like some talking about it, reviewing it, giving thoughts on it.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean it's the fucking director from Witcher 3, which was one of the greatest RPGs of all time. So
We'll definitely be talking about it for sure. So stay tuned.
yeah.
We'll check in more on that, guys. Let's go over to RockSteady. Revealed this last week. RockSteady reveals Arkham Batman isn't dead in Suicide Squad. Kill the Justice League as devs scramble to rewrite its $200 million disaster from Montanaro over at that Park Place. I think this is so fucking desperate. This reads as like, I honestly wish this game would just die. Didn't it have like less than 100 players or some ridiculously low numbers? Maybe that's too low. But I thought it had
was like on the heels of like Concord and shit like that, where it's like no one plays this game.
Yeah. And honestly, I don't think that there were Arkham fans who were really like sold on that anyway. Like, I don't know if I really believe that people were convinced that that this story really affected Arkham. Like, I think most people were just keen to write it off as it never existed and just get ready for their next Arkham game. So I mean,
I mean, this is supposed to be like in the Arkham universe or whatever. It was Kevin Conroy's last outing as Batman before he sadly passed away.
Right.
And they fucking shoot him right in the face. And now they're backtracking and saying that, no, they're just, the heroes in the game are just clones.
Yeah. So the article reads, after a tumultuous year defined by criticism, financial loss, and plummeting reputation, RockSteady's Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League has concluded its disastrous live service run. The final twist, those beloved Justice League heroes, including Kevin Conroy's iconic Arkham Batman, weren't actually killed, they were clones. And yeah, that's the fucking like lazy writing twist. Like, you were probably better off just completely shitting on this game and just saying this is no longer and never has been, never will be canonical. Like, it doesn't, like, you're better off just completely condemning this project and saying,
it raises more questions than answers.
Right.
Like, oh, they're just clones. It's like, all right, cool. Where the fuck were the heroes then this entire time?
Right.
You think Batman's gonna fuck off while like Brainiac is doing his thing? It's like, where was he then? If that was just a clone.
Exactly. And I mean, all of this in the article it points to, and it all ties back to like Sweet Baby Inc.'s involvement. I mean, that was really the thing. Like, Sweet Baby Inc. detected on Steam, pointed out all of these games that were directly influenced by them or had some level of influence from them. And it got really, really easy to see this shit. Like, this terrible writing, this obvious like DEI initiatives into DEI and ESG initiatives into gaming. It became so transparent, and Suicide Squad Killed the Justice League was really the nail that the final nail in the coffin for a lot of people. It was this, and I think there were like two more games that were really like at the time really big focuses of this. But Suicide Squad Killed the Justice League pissed off so many people that they literally backlashed hard enough to create a whole unique forum on Steam pointing to this one nonprofit company that
quote unquote nonprofit.
Yeah, quote unquote. Well, they're taxpayer funded. I think we went through all of that. It was either takethis.org or takethat.org, or it was Sweet Baby Inc. that got like like almost $1 million in tax funds in order to just exist, and it didn't actually generate any money from it. It just made like articles and like involve themselves in media just to force this shit down people's throats. I hope all of that gets cut. If all of that got cut, I'd be super happy. That would make my year.
Yeah, I mean, Rocksteady's backtracking right now on this because they want to do more Batman games in the Arkham universe.
Mm-hmm.
And it reeks of like, well, you didn't think ahead at all.
Right. Well, And even like Mrs. Freeze, like I completely forgot about that, but Mrs. Freeze came. This was one of their later additions, wasn't this like a patch or like an update or something that they
Was
did?
that supposed to be like Sam Smith or something?
At the body shop. Yeah, so it was
Doing some unholy, that's for sure.
yeah, this whole project was fucking unholy.
Just kidding. Scroll up.
Sure.
There's a quote right there. It's as if Rocksteady is trying to say, okay, it wasn't quoted. It's just like, hey, we're just kidding. Don't be mad. I know we just killed like one of the most beloved superheroes and voice actors of all time, but
Well, it
wasn't really him.
well, and they did it to all of the like not all of them, but they did it to all the big Justice League members and the most beloved ones. Like these are the fucking heroes that people were buying T-shirts for. They were the things that Sheldon was wearing, like these T-shirts all across the fucking stupid TV show. What?
Stupid TV
It is a
show.
stupid
Big
TV
Bang
show.
Theory.
Big Bang
It
Theory.
is horrible.
It's terrible. It's a shit on nerd culture. I fucking hate it. But yeah, I mean, these are the types of heroes that people were like literally idealizing and looking up to and thought were amazing and were literally buying merchandise for or have been childhood fans of these characters. And you did them out in the most disrespectful way you possibly could. I don't understand how you thought that could possibly have landed well. There's no logic. There's no train of logic that leads to that.
It's a California bubble.
It must be. Honestly, even in California, I would be, unless you are in charge of this project and you hate these characters, how you could even contemplate doing them so freaking dirty. Like,
Well, they do. There was this one chick. I don't remember if she's going to be like a writer in one of these studios or some shit. But they're like, one of their questions in the interview was like, basically, it's like, why do we hate Batman or some shit?
right.
And yeah, they're like, explain why Batman is horrible.
Yeah, good luck with that, making that argument. Unless you're talking about the Batman who laughs, like, or one of the darker storytelling characters, which obviously is not the Arkham character that you are entrusted with. You're not making that case strong enough. There's just no way you can.
Sorry, the answer was he's a straight, white, patriarchal male with billionaire, and he doesn't do anything for the poor or some shit.
Oh my god. There's Batman. Batman was one of the biggest philanthropists in the entirety of DC. Like, oh my god.
They live in their own world.
You should be more pissed off at Lex Luthor. It's like,
right?
Who would only do nice things as a way to cover up his surprise attacks against the Justice League. It's like, fuck.
I did a bad thing, but really it was a good thing.
Right. That one's rough. You want honestly, the whole situation with trying to change this up just to the clones thing is a desperate fucking move. It's so obviously desperate that it and I'm just
it's JK, we're making more Arkham games, so come back.
I hope that this game did something to them as far as like not just this game specifically, but I hope this did something reputationally for the fandom where it does make people think twice. Like
you go back and play Arkham Knight these days, and that game came out in 2015. It looks insanely good still to this day.
Yeah.
And a lot of people's like top 10 best games is like City and Asylum.
Right. I think that I hope this game just makes people rethink their next game, right? Like people I think are a little hesitant to go back to their classics and relive those more fun experiences. Now, given I understand the impulse to try to get something new as well. Like I'm constantly trying to figure out what new game I'll be interested in playing. Marvel Rivals was that for me recently. But at the same time, it's like I have no problem going back and playing Baldur's Gate 3 again, or going back and playing For Honor, or any classic games that I've already enjoyed or played through. It's like
a lot of people. You gotta keep in mind too, like, yes, Rocksteady made the Arkham series. They also made this game. It's not the same studio that made the Arkham series. Everyone's left or moved on.
Right.
It's just the same in name only. With BioWare, they have been a different studio since like fucking 2012.
Right. None of these people stuck around. So you're not like entrusting the franchises to the same talent.
Yeah, it's not the same creators. It's just the same fucking brand name. That's it.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm excited for this game to fall into obscurity. But I am hoping that it gets referenced in the future as people are comparing games back and forth, and people remember what this game did as far as how it approached its story. I'm
We got so many meme games in last year.
yeah,
Where it's like this game is just a meme.
true. I mean, but honestly, like every game, I mean, people were so aware this year. People were so aware of what bad games would look like on the shelves. Like they saw trailers or they saw some marketing for it, and they a lot of people instantly knew, oh, avoid that one, consider this one, definitely go to this one. Like people were more, like the consumer base was definitely more aware this last year with their money, and it obviously shows in the 2024 Game Awards that got put out. So, and honestly, I think in entertainment in general, we saw, what did we talk about last week, where Ubisoft lost $10 billion in the last couple of years, and a lot of other studios are getting hurt as well from all their failures.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I'm going through Ubisoft's back catalog right now. Like I'm playing older Assassin's Creed games, Mass Effect games, and whatnot. It's like, you guys are so good.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're just shit.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard for any of those studios to turn it around, especially if they're not going to fire any of the people who are making these mistakes. I mean, if you run a company where
what's his hers face from
they thems
Veilguard.
Yeah,
I think they got shit canned.
I guess so, but I mean, you're not talking about a whole team, right? You're talking about like one creative person.
The creative director, yeah.
Right. And I mean, I think that you probably, even as a creative director with all of your power, are probably still not able to completely weed out the corruption in your teams. Obviously, all of those devs who were still working under that person didn't disagree ideologically enough to like speak up or do anything about it, or even just leave themselves. It's not like there was ever an exodus.
Insane. Just being a normal person working like fucking 4 or 5 years on a game to where you're just like, this is cringe as fuck.
Yeah, See, that's exactly what I mean. Even if you get rid of the creative director, the people who are under them are still the same people, are on the same wavelength. You could replace a creative director with a hard MAGA right-wing, like racist, bigot, ultra-nationalist, every bad word in the dictionary, and
every
istophobe, and you're still not going to be able to put out a game, because that's one guy, a powerful guy, but I mean, he still has to run that team. He's going to have to it's going to take a year to churn out anyone who he doesn't have any authority or who he can't make do their job. Like, just to fire people.
I see like a lot of those like developers and writers and whatnot that are just in lockstep with like, we're gonna make this as woke, DEI, and as gay as possible, and they're just doing it, and they're like, what is that? It's like the Nazis or whatever. We're just taking orders.
Yeah,
I was just taking orders.
I can't. That sentence pisses me off more than most sentences. It's like there's not that many sentences that piss me off. That is a sentence that pisses me off. I mean,
doing what I was told.
I mean,
I didn't think about it or have anything to say about it. Or
you ever look into those experiments? I can never remember what the experiment is called or who the scientist who was running the experiment was. But it's the authority test, where it's basically like you're hearing recordings of someone being shocked behind a wall, and you pull the levers to do it, and incrementally keep pulling levers.
Oh, I have heard of that test.
Yeah,
I don't remember what it was.
If you in the comments in the video, let us know if you remember who that test was. It's quite, it's interesting as shit.
It's like a mob mentality, because there's another test too where like they had a bunch of people in the room. Everyone was an actor except for one person. Like a bell would ring, everyone would stand up and do something or whatever, and the person that was an actor was like, "What the fuck's going on?" But like the third or fifth time that happened, they started doing it too.
Yep. I love that so I have actually been in one of those tests before. Not that one specifically, but it was God damn it. It was like back in high school. So it was a long time ago, but there was some sort of like what was it? God damn it. Anyway, I'm very glad that I sat there looking at all these people like they were fucking idiots and didn't jump in and do it along with them. That was,
You didn't have that mass hysteria kind of mentality.
I was just so grateful because God damn it, do I not really respect those people at all? I'm so glad that I didn't know what was happening, but I do remember I just like watched and let them just keep doing it.
You're a nonconformist.
I guess I'm a little bit of a nonconformist. I guess I conform to that idea.
Conform.
I'm the least conformist because I don't conform to you nonconformists.
I'm so nonconformity.
All right, let's cover the last story. We got a bit of time here left over, so let's cover politics. I know this is your favorite topic, you know?
Yeah.
All right.
It's our audience's favorite topic.
Oh,
politics.
Hell yeah. So the story goes, Trump taps Hollywood legends to revive industry ruined by identity politics, appoints Gibson, Stallone, and Voight as his special ambassadors to Hollywood. You know, with the inauguration coming up in just a couple of days at the time of this podcast, this is interesting because there's other news that's going on. Obviously, Hollywood right now is being wrecked. I think I'm just going to throw all of these articles out here right away, and then we'll just talk about the whole thing as a thing. About the Hollywood wildfires. So James Wood, the other article goes, James Wood defies the flames. Hollywood star's home miraculously survives wildfires after critics mock his misfortune. Then you have, as part of the inauguration, Village People backtrack, confirm they will perform at Trump inauguration despite past cease and desist. Then you have Carrie Underwood blasted by the View host for decisions to perform at the Donald Trump inauguration. So we should start by saying this is probably going to be one of the biggest inauguration events ever. Like, this is going to be insanely huge.
I just hope we get another meme out of it. You know, that girl screaming on the ground in the green jacket or whatever.
No. Yeah, I
hope we get another one of those.
That would have been awesome for sure. I mean, Carrie Underwood was not someone who I didn't hear her as someone speaking up. But I'm not surprised. There's a lot of people who are secretly supporting Trump or secretly liking Trump. And the fact that a few more of them, and now some of the famous ones, are coming out of the woodwork and starting to speak up more, I'm not against it. The Village People,
because it's not as taboo now. After they saw the election where the majority vote.
Right. Oh, exactly.
When the majority was like, oh, apparently he's more popular than we thought. It's like, yeah, no shit. He always has been.
Exactly. And the Village People, the cease and desist thing always felt maybe they didn't want to be associated with it, but now
it could just be the people that have the rights to. I don't know if the Village People actually own the rights to their music.
Right.
It could be any number of people.
Studios,
the band itself could just not know about it.
Right, exactly. I mean, the Village People actually coming out. Trump has actually been one of the most pro-gay presidents. I mean, he got a standing ovation at the RNC after his first election from when he was talking about being his pro stance on gay marriage. I don't know what I don't even remember what exactly it was.
And I don't like the wording of pro gay or whatever. It's I don't give a fuck.
His neutrality. Yeah.
It doesn't matter who you sleep with. I'm not pro rooting you on in the bedroom kind of thing.
Right.
This is I don't give a fuck.
I love how it pisses off the left so much that people just want neutrality. It's you can't want neutrality, you bigot. You fucking if you won't suck a tranny's dick, you're a phobic. You're afraid of it.
Not only do you have to support it, you have to take part in it.
You have to participate. It's so frustrating.
Get in the gay parade, bro. Let's go.
But honestly, yeah, the inauguration, JD Vance was talking about, he was asking people about skipping it. I can't remember why he was talking about skipping it, but he posted something and he was asking if people would be frustrated or pissed off if he skipped. And honestly, no, I think it's stupid. I don't think we should have the inauguration ceremony this time around. I think Trump should stay behind bulletproof glass for a minute.
Well, kind of. Everything moved indoors, and I think that's because of weather or whatnot. But
well, I hope. Yeah, I didn't hear. This is news to me about the inauguration moving indoors, but Yeah, they also had last week they were reporting that the DC police found 2 more people who they were suspecting of assassination attempts. One guy was bringing along a machete, and the other guy was doing. I don't remember what the second guy was.
Fuck, how close do you think you're gonna get?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They're planning to go stab the president or throw a machete at him. Either way, I mean, if you can die.
And the media will claim like we weren't enticing any violence for the past fucking 8 years, calling him Hitler and blah blah blah.
Yeah, that's the frustrating one. That's also insanely like maddening. But I think
Like,
that
you painted this person as one of the worst people on earth. How do you not expect some people that are mentally ill to try to do something about it?
exactly. Well, what do you think about these appointments to like special ambassadors to Hollywood? Like, I think that's kind of an interesting idea. I mean, I
like it. I didn't realize John Voight was still alive.
Yeah,
But Gibson and Stallone are fucking awesome. I've always loved Gibson.
Yeah.
I love after hearing that recording or whatever of his, when he's yelling at his ex-wife in the voicemail. It's always been fun.
Yeah, I like him too. I like all these. I like all of these guys. Stallone is like, we need Stallone to really be like the guy in charge of this group, because I think out of all of them, he's still got the most. I think talent and star power out of this group. I'm not pretending like the other two are not recognizable or not huge in their
More of a
name.
Gibson fan.
Yeah, but I would like people to make the if you disagree with me that Sylvester Stallone should be the leader of this group or should be the one carrying the most water, I'd like you to make the case. I'd like you to like to steelman your position about why John Voight or Mel Gibson have more star power than Sylvester Stallone, because I don't see it.
You should watch. Gibson was on Joe Rogan. It's a very good interview.
Yeah, that was recently, right?
Very
It was only like last
insightful,
week or
yeah.
two.
Yeah, it was like last week or something. Very insightful, level-headed, kind of humble.
Well, I like what's happening in Hollywood right now with like Angel Studios. I like that we have these 3 ambassadors coming into Hollywood. I think it can be good. I am skeptical about their impact, about like what they'll like, how big of a rock they'll be able to push on this topic. I'm not. I mean, they could make their own films. They could advocate for Trump and like a more politically neutral or even just good storytelling in Hollywood. I don't know that
Well,
you're
it's like
gonna.
when Daily Wire like announced their shit and they're like making their own movies and whatnot, and everyone's like, I don't want right-wing movies. I don't want left-wing. I don't want political. There can be messaging and whatnot, but it's not gonna be like the whole part or the whole film.
Right.
It's just make storytelling good. Make storytelling great again.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, make stories great again. I mean, so the idea is that a return to the golden age of Hollywood. God, wouldn't that be amazing? If we got like another like a late 90s into early 2000s generation of filmmaking again.
Did you know how many fucking like banger movies came out in the year 99 alone?
Oh, I couldn't
It's
even
fucking
guess.
insane.
I couldn't guess. It's got to be it's got to be 20 films, 10,
Yeah,
maybe
at
a little
least.
less. But I mean, it's huge. It's got to be huge, that number. I mean, yeah, there was an ideal generation of filmmaking where it was where you had all of these blockbusters coming out back to back to back. People were talking double features. Who the fuck goes to see a double feature anymore? Like, it's not like there's nothing to fucking see. Like, unless you're doing like a movie review and you're just tolerating this shit just to put out, like, just to make content. But it's like, there's nothing out there. Nosferatu looked like it could be good. I actually loved Sonic 3. I thought Sonic 3 was awesome. The kids movie, yeah, but I thought it was really well done. I loved Keanu Reeves' Shadow. I thought he did so good. I just like.
Does Keanu Reeves ever?
No, he doesn't. I mean, this movie Sonic 3 asked very little of Keanu Reeves, I think, as far as like portraying Sonic. But I thought his cast for voice acting was perfect. I thought it was on point. I thought the way they did Shadow was awesome. I really enjoyed Sonic and Knuckles. Their dynamic is hilarious. I have always despised Tails in every version of Sonic, so just seeing him again was not a problem.
Like the sidekick.
Well, he's just like you know that level of niceness that is annoying or frustrating to be around or deal with?
Overly helpful.
Yeah, it's that. Like
So it's like, you need anything? Can I help you with this?
I
It's
thought
like,
we were a
dude.
team and friendship, and I was like, fuck off, nerd.
So like, I'm looking at the top 50 movies of 1999. I can name 40 of them, and everyone would recognize it.
Yeah, they'll be amazing. You know what? Hit us with like 5. Just give us some member berries. Give us like 5.
I'll give you, according to IMDb, the top. I'll give you the top 5 according to Fight Club, Matrix,
Oh my god.
American Beauty, Green Mile, Eyes Wide Shut, Sixth Sense came out.
Oh my god. Dude, I gotta like. I mean, Green
Yeah,
Mile, and
Magnolia, Office Space, Boondock Saints, obviously great movie.
Fight Club, and I didn't even know Fight Club and Boondock Saints came out the same year. Wow, what a year to be alive that would have that was like. And
South Park, Bigger, Longer, Uncut, The Iron Giant, Tarzan,
Iron
American
Giant?
Pie started.
dude, all right, you got to stop. I mean, I'm overloaded with member berries. I've had way too many member berries.
Scrolling, and I only made it to 25.
Jesus, dude. That, I mean, look at, then compare it to like today. Like compare it to like 2024's list. You had I guess you had some time, like you had a couple movies that were going to be good in 2024, but I mean, it's not a long list. I mean,
I want to continue real quick. Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me.
God,
Big Daddy.
you have to stop. I'm loving this too much. The Mummy? Oh my god. Brendan Fraser before he got fat.
1 year.
Brendan Fraser before he won an Oscar for Whale. Is that the?
Right.
Yeah, I think I got that
that's
right.
the one he got Best Actor for.
Yeah, Jesus, dude, what a year to be alive that would have been, and being able to go watch all those movies.
I would have spent my yearly fucking income just going to the theater.
Dude, I
was old enough at that in that year.
I saw a post on X, and it was a yes/no on whether you would save your best friend's life from a tragic accident, like a horrible, horrifying death, or be able to rewatch the Lord of the Rings trilogy again for the first time. And I would let you die every time. I would ask.
That's acceptable.
I would ask if I could kill you over and over again just to re-experience it. Just, like if I could bring you back.
I would do that for the Mass Effect trilogy. Re-experience.
Oh my god. Again. I feel a little offended by that one because I don't even consider the Mass Effect like the masterpiece that you do. I get it. I understand. We should post that question though. Would you kill your best friend for an opportunity?
It's like which one of these IPs would you horrifically murder a best friend just to re-experience?
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, we'd have to.
Dude, I'm looking at 2002, and that was fucking insane. Jesus Christ, we got good movies back in the day.
This is what. So the golden age, we want it back. We want more culturally impactful, good storytelling, great acting, great writing. Honestly, I mean, to revamp the industry or to reshape the industry, Gibson, Stallone, Voight, they have a huge mountain to climb, but they had some people giving them a bit of a head start. Daily Wire, I mean, Daily Wire, your point, what you said was like, no, we don't want right-wing films. Agree. Check that box. 100% in agreement. But at least at least they got started. At least they got moving in that direction. They're overcorrecting, but at least they're moving in the correct direction. I think Angel Studios is doing perfect with how they're doing it. I think their messaging is incredibly neutral, and I think the quality of their work is phenomenally high. So freaking high. I need to still watch Homestead, but I mean, I'm hearing good things about it. But you had Sound of Freedom.
Yeah.
Yep. And then you had Sound of Freedom. You had that. They're working on an anime project right now, and I'm just like, oh my god, they're hitting everything. They're doing awesome. They need to.
I get a quick fun fact.
Shoot.
In the year 2000, How the Grinch Stole Christmas was the #1 grossing movie, and then 4th place was Gladiator. It outperformed Gladiator by about $80 million.
Oh, wow! Really?
Yeah.
I'm trying to find see if there's a page on IMDb just dedicated to Angel Studios, but I'm not seeing it. So I was trying to see if there was a way to just see their list of projects upcoming, but I don't see it. What is your take on? So, what have you thought about the wildfires bullshit that's been going on over in LA? In my mind,
I think it's a government conspiracy.
there's no fire. All that smoke you see.
There's no fire.
When you see smoke, there's no fire. That's just the frogs humping so hard because they're gay.
I've heard so many different conspiracy theories about that, but like the most logical one, so Joe Rogan, like a week before the fires happened, he was like just talking to a firefighter or whatever. And he's like, we got all these fucking homeless people and like immigrants or whatever. They're just cooking up on the streets. And then all it takes is one good strong wind and the entire city burns down.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking it was just like homeless people just cooking shit up, meth or food, whatever it fucking is. And then they got the 70 to 90 mile an hour winds, which is fucking insane. And yeah, it just took over. And then the reason why it burned down the entire city is just the incompetence of how it was run.
Yeah, I mean,
the city is run.
I mean, honestly, the whole debacle is just, we've known this for a long time, that Hollywood, that LA, that California, and honestly the entire West Coast mismanaged their forests because they kept they kept pandering to the environmentalists who were like, you can't clear the brush or the dead forest, and you can't clear any of it. It's like, that's not just a problem for wildfires. It's a problem for like landslides. It's a problem for all sorts of bad shit that could happen out of that. Like, you can't leave forests unshepherded, unattended. You gotta
leave nature alone, man. You gotta let it do its own thing.
And these are the same people who would put 9-inch nail spikes into trees to try to kill the people who are cutting down trees. Like, you gotta leave nature alone. Let's just put a fucking murder weapon inside of the trees. I can't.
Yeah, and they were like, there was reports. Who the fuck was it? CNN was talking to someone, and they're like, and we don't have any water in our fire hydrants or whatever. And the CNN host was like, that's unconfirmed and blah, blah, blah. And then like 2 minutes later, we'll go to so-and-so on ground. And then she's like, yeah, and here they're reporting that there was no water in the fire hydrants.
I hate that.
Trying to cover.
Yeah, it's every time I hear a politician or someone say like misinformation or disinformation, I'm like, dude, you're just lying. You're just lying.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that has been a good indicator, not the best, not a perfect, but a good indicator for when you could tell a politician is just pulling bullshit, absolute lies. I mean, that's a good marker. It's smoke, as it were. It's smoke, as it were. Where there's smoke.
Did you hear or see that one big fucking dyke of a fireman that was talking about
yes, I know exactly what you're talking
hiring
about.
women into the fire department? It's like, and people are worried that we're not going to be able to like physically be able to carry people out of fires and whatnot. And then she's like, if someone is caught in a fire, it's kind of their own fault.
Yeah,
like, dude,
I want to see if I can find that.
That was fucking insane. It's like, all right, so you're a fire department that won't save people if they're caught in a fire. Cool.
I want to see if I can find that ad because it's an advert. I'm not sure how
it's like a air advert or some shit.
Yeah, I would recognize it instantly if I could find it, but I don't know that I'll be able to.
A lot of
because I said fighter, not
fight fighter.
There it is. Okay.
Yep.
And this is only like 20 seconds.
Yeah, it's only 20 seconds.
Okay, hold on. Just want to make sure it's the actual thing I'm talking about. California's okay. So we got Sean Davis on X posted repost of End Wokeness. One of California's top fire lesbians says, if an unqualified female fighter can't carry you out of the burning building, it's actually your own fault for being there in the first place. And then that was a repost of End Wokeness says, LAFD Assistant Chief Christine Larson, am I able to carry your husband out of a fire? He got himself in the wrong place. Let's listen to it. Oh shoot, I gotta do the audio thing again.
call that looks like you. It gives that person a little bit more ease, knowing that somebody might understand their situation better. Is she strong enough to do this? Or you couldn't carry my husband out of a fire, which my response is, he got himself in the wrong place if I have to carry him out of a fire.
Jesus fuck Christ.
Yeah, that whole, I mean, the lack of awareness is ridiculous. It's so like, it's so culty. It's so cultish and weird that that this is how people approach this. Like the amount
I'm sorry your husband's a cripple, or I'm sorry that the fire started behind the door, which leads to the escape.
Yeah, you have like
It's his fault.
Yeah, you have to save these people. You have to save people's lives as a firefighter. You first off, that's the only reason you exist as a position. Like put out the fires. Like yeah, save people. Yeah, it's the only
they gotta
job.
go save some cats from a tree.
You gotta go save. I can carry.
Firefighters, a bunch of queers.
She can definitely carry a cat. She probably has like 30 of them. I mean, these people are so fucking stupid and unaware of like how the world rotates around them. They're just completely oblivious.
EMTs is just like, I'm sorry that your husband got himself into the problem of having a heart attack in the first place, but you know what? Fuck him.
Well,
He shouldn't evade all those hokies.
Yeah, exactly. Here's from James Woods on X. A miracle has happened. We managed to get out, or to get to our property and our home that we were told is gone forever and is still standing. In this hellish landscape, standing is relative, but smoke and other damage is not like utter destruction. Not like the utter destruction around us, the view from our deck area. So this is insane.
That's Pally High School. This is everything below us. Oh my god.
It's a good time to film
So neighbors-
apocalypse movies.
Oh god, yeah, no shit.
Francis, father we saved, is now putting out fires on our hillside.
Right. I mean, holy shit, man. I mean, can you imagine? This.
I saw a quick snippet of this is when Maui was burning. Mel Gibson and Russell Brand were at Mar-a-Lago, and Mel Gibson leans over to Russell Brand in the middle of this conference. He's like, "My place is on fire right now."
Well, he's an actor. He can keep his composure. But this is the kind of shit. So Mr. Race Bannon, James Woods voted for a guy who thinks climate change is a hoax. Now his house is burning down, and he's got like these types of gifts floating.
What the fuck does wildfires have to do with climate change?
To
begin with.
Yeah, James
California
Woods,
burns every year.
Yeah, it's the mismanagement of forests. Elon Musk actually had a post on this that was like a perfect summarization of what fucking happened. It's the mismanagement of the forests, along with just the considerably, like, it was dry and you have people starting fires. You have a person who's been arrested, like a suspect who's been arrested.
Yeah, there was some homeless dude with a blowtorch.
Well, there's that guy.
There's multiple things.
There's an illegal immigrant it's an illegal immigrant who was arrested and suspecting of starting this specific wildfire, the big one. And that now they're passing him back and forth between agencies because they can't figure out whether to deport him or how to charge him. So now they're figuring that out. So, but
just catapult him across the border.
Yeah, I'm sure Mexico will be super excited to take him. No, I'm not. They should still take him anyway. But James Woods' house might burn down.
California's a place that always has like droughts and whatnot, and it's like throwing a cigarette out the window of a moving car can cause the state to burn down.
Yeah. Then you have Instagram, James Woods on Instagram. This fire is not from climate change, you ignorant asshole. It's because liberal idiots like you elect liberal idiots like Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass. One doesn't understand the first thing about fire management, and the other can't fill the water reservoirs. Yeah, yeah. I mean, honestly, this is.
I mean, there's so much around this. Karen Bass, this bitch, was in Ghana at like a fucking wine tasting or some shit while her city was burning. She's the mayor of LA.
Yeah.
Insurance companies dropped like fucking 70,000.
Keep going.
Insurance companies dropped like 70,000 fire insurance for people. 7,000 different people.
Yeah.
Like 3 weeks before this started.
Yeah. I mean, Gavin Newsom ran out the insurance companies out of California too. They were saying they weren't going to insure houses. I mean, this is obviously mismanagement. I mean, and honestly, if you want to make the case this is global warming, then it's a good reason, it's a good argument to just give up. It's like, what's the point of fighting? It's like everything's going to be global warming, then what's the point?
The elites are burning down LA to make their futuristic city where there are no cars and you can walk everywhere.
I saw that conspiracy too. They were blaming Gavin Newsom for that. Yeah. All right. I think we're going to call it there. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode. If you enjoyed the content, please make sure to smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. It is free. It's the best way to help us grow. Share the video out there. Comment your favorite topic below so that we know what you guys like and we can engage with it more in the future. Don't forget to go check out the merch store with the link in the description. We have amazing t-shirts on here. Super comfortable. Really cool designs. Love to get you guys' feedback on them. What else you guys would like to see third-party studios put our name on, and what you guys might be interested in inside the merch store in the future. We have more topics coming up this week. Tune in tomorrow for Sunday Slackers, and we will be back with more Bannerlord, and Thursday will be a bit of a surprise on what that content will look like, so don't forget to tune in. Should be a ton of fun. Thank you, guys. We're going to wrap it up there. Go tell your stories. Peace out.
Bye.